Hi everyone, my name is Junon. I have a health science background and I'm the author of the books Truth and Empathy, How to Find Your Soulmate, as well as Theta-waves meditation. And I'll put links to my books below. Also, if you're interested in having your MBTI personality type determined, I'm going to put below a link to live assessment that I do. So 30 minutes costs $100 and a 60-minute one or an hour will cost $175. So you can, reach out to me if you're interested in, again, determining your brain type. So let's go back to the topic at hand. So we're trying to determine the romantic compatibility between INTPs and ESFPs. So what do they have in common? Obviously, they're both perceivers. So in terms of their organizational style, they're the spontaneous type. So these are people who like flexibility in their schedule. They don't like a rigid environment. They think quickly on their feet. So they like to have more options when it comes to how they manage their time. The other aspect that they have in common is that they both have good energy. So INTPs, being an intuitive, they have slower brain waves than most sensors. So they have an alpha brain dominance. So these people tend to emit good energy, and also ESFPs as well. So in other words, because yes, they are sensors, but being sensor perceivers, they have slower brain waves. So on average, their dominant brain will be around like 14 cycles per second. And because they are feelers, they also tend to have, again, a softer, more gentler type of subtle energy. So in other words, the INTP could spend a lot of time with the ESFP and not feel tired. This couple would face a number of challenges if they decide to mate. The first one has the fact that INTPs are left brain dominant. So in other words, they make most decisions based on logic, whereas ESFPs are right brain dominant, so they're more empathetic and they make most of their decisions based on their own ethics and their own morals, because they have introverted feeling as their second function, whereas the INTP has introverted thinking as their first function. So they will not get along well. However, the ESFP is more logical than the ISFP. So in other words, if let's say you have to decide, most likely they will be able to find more common ground than if someone who has their thinking function, their fourth one. The other aspect is the fact that they don't have the same theme for their lives. INTPs, it is knowledge and power, so they very much want to learn and they're very sort of like interested in math and science, whereas ESFPs, the theme of their lives is movement and freedom. So these are people who are entertainers. Actually, they are called the entertainer, literally, and they are interested in the arts, even in terms of how they dress. They are often, singers, actors, so they might be interested in like maybe in terms of how they present themselves even physically. They might have like blue hair, piercing, tattoos, and you won't see that with an INTP. They tend to be more conservative. Actually, intuitives in general, you will rarely see them wearing something that is out of the ordinary. So they tend to be conservative in terms of how they present themselves. So that may be an issue. Even in terms of how they behave in their romantic relationships, the ESFP, because they're more of the artists, they may not be the type to want to settle down and be with the same person for a long period of time. I mean, it's not as extreme as they say for an ESTP or an ISTP, but these are people who tend to be easily bored, whereas the INTP tends to have a long attention span, so that may be a challenge in their relationship. Now, the other challenge that this couple may face has to do with their body language and their need for affection. INTPs tend to be more sort of conservative and they like their space, whereas ESFPs tend to be warm. They like cuddles. They like to, be around other people. And the other aspect also, obviously, the fact that INTPs are introverts. So these are people who feel rejuvenated by being alone, especially the fact that they are intuitive. So the combination of introversion and intuition means that they are even more sort of in need of solitude compared to the ESFP, which the ESFPs really like people, they like crowds. So if they say they were to mate, then there would be a clash in terms of how much time they need to be with others and to actually again feel rejuvenated and feel energized. So based on all these factors, this is a very incompatible pairing. Yes, they are both perceivers, but besides that, they have a number of characters that will actually pull them apart. One is that INTPs are thinkers, whereas ESFPs are feelers. One is interested in power and knowledge. The other one, it's about their theme of their lives is movement and freedom. One is very much an introvert who likes, being alone and to recharge, whereas ESFPs are very much people oriented. One is very reserved and may not be very physically affectionate, whereas the ESFP really likes to be around people and hugs and things of the sort. They're also very more expressive, while INTPs tend to be more maybe stoic in terms of how they actually behave. Even in terms of how they actually dress, INTPs may be more conservative, whereas the ESFP, because they often artists, they might have like maybe blue hair, or maybe they might have like tattoos and things of the sort, and they might clash in terms of even how they look and how they behave. Again, for all these reasons, I think this is a very incompatible pairing. So let me know what you think about this romantic compatibility analysis by commenting below. If you like this video, if you learned something, please click on the like button. Also remember to click on our bell to be notified of other videos I'm going to be making. Subscribe to my channel, and we will talk soon.